You are floating down the water when a strange current begins to suck you faster along your way. You're mildly concerned, but you ignore the sensation and neglect to take any action. At the moment that you begin to wonder, should I stop myself, you see the white rapids plainly in front of you. The first series approach. Your eyes harden and your concentration narrows. Your breathing and heart rate both begin to race. Knowing now that you have waited too long, you know that impact is inevitable. With tense muscles, you thrash against the water to clear. But barely you do, only to find that your efforts have facilitated a collision with the next rock. Seeing you are too late to make any effective attempts, you brace for impact as you careen. You hit. A blast of pain courses through you. You collide with another rock and another. Disequilibrium and chaotic motion resound through your body. Your mind screams, "This is excruciating. I'm in such pain. I'm helpless." With internalized focus and narrowed concentration, you're unaware that you've cleared the first series of obstacles, only to feel the inescapable call of the current pulling you furiously, pushing you. You're swept into a whirlpool created by the chaos of the river rapids. You begin to descend lower and lower. As you do, debris cascades over you, rending your flesh, sending searing pain throughout your body. The current twists, inverting you. You swallow water. You cannot breathe. You reach the bottom. You have just been swallowed by the vortex. You are floating down the river. Early, you are detecting the current increasing. You feel the tug and you respond by scanning the river ahead. Around a bend, you see that the rocks protrude from the water, and you hear the sound of rapids in the distance. Needing to get to your destination downriver, you make the conscious decision to go forward through the impending chaos. The current accelerates as the rapids approach, and you see the first obstacle. You facilitate the inertia by swimming with the current, by angling to slingshot beyond. Monitoring forward, you see a series of rocks to negotiate. One directive in mind, you deliberately choose to pinball yourself through the course. Increasing your velocity, you swing by the first rock, the second, the third, the fourth, bouncing off each with your hands. It is at that time you notice your muscles begin to tense, your breathing increase, your heart rate begins to pound. Each time you collide into a rock, you let go of the distraction as you expand your awareness to detect future threats. Now you feel the tug, the pull of fear, the draw of anxiety. You feel yourself begin to concentrate on the sensation of being pulled deeper around the edge of doom. Exhaling, you begin to swim into the momentum. Now you feel the tug, the pull of fear, the draw of anxiety. You feel yourself begin to concentrate on the sensation of being pulled deeper around the edge of doom. Exhaling, you begin to swim into the momentum. You relax your movement and go with the flow of the current. You slingshot out of the vortex and find yourself in total control, indistractable. You move in slow motion as if you could take 100 strokes when you only need a handful. You enter the peak performance zone. With Prime Your Bioenergy, the main focus is going to be the integration of your breathing, movement, and alignment. You've heard this as a recurring theme throughout all of the materials that we've released. In particular, integrating your breathing, movement, and alignment is going to give you the efficacy for all of your tactical applications and all of your power. But most importantly, you have to perceive this as non-technical oriented personal practice. When you're going through the drills, focus upon the process rather than the product of each exercise. Focus on the integration of your breathing, movement, and alignment throughout each one of the exercises rather than trying to produce products through visualizing each exercise as a specific outcome. Also, remember the maxim, infinite range of motion equals infinite options. So with each exercise, you expand what you're capable of which expands what you're capable of producing. Since our formula is for the generation of power, integrating your breathing, movement, and alignment, let's first look at breathing. Breathing is stabilizing the structure so you have maximal force delivery. Integrating your structure is giving you the optimal alignment to deliver force, and integrating your movement is joint recruitment. Joint recruitment equals efficiency. If you think of a pulley system, the more pulleys that you add, the more efficient it is, the easier it is to lift that load. So we're going to begin with joint recruitment and increasing our range of motion in each one of the relevant joints throughout our body. Let's start with the static range of motions on the neck. First, forward, backward. As you're moving the neck, drop it down along the plane of your mandible, forward and backward. Try not to distort and distract the cervical vertebra, just back and forth, obviously. Then right, left, along the plane of the mandibular angle. Notice that this isn't tilting forward, it's directly back and forth. Lifting, lift direct up along the vector of the spine. Twisting, and a complex movement of with the middle of your neck tilting. You're not dropping, you're tilting back and forth, moving from the middle of your neck. Now, to bring these together, we'll start with a basic circle. Forward to backward, right and left. Both directions. Add into that the tilt. Both directions. And take that to maximal range of motion where you're rolling. Now, we're going to take these exercises, these basic range of motions, and put them into infinity signs. So if we have a circle in front of us, we also have a circle behind us. If we add those together, we have our first figure eight. In front and in back. Opposite direction. Allow your body to recruit the rest of your motion. Your shoulders are naturally going to recruit. Right, left. We'll start this direction. One circle, the next circle. Right and left. Remember that you're still coming forward. And opposite direction. Now, add in your tilt. This is going to be very important later for absorbing blows to the head. Both directions. And that sums it up for the neck. On to shoulders. When you work on the first exercise, it's not just rolling forward, it's tilting as you roll backwards. So roll the deltoid over top and then withdraw it. As you're using both, I want you to bring your arms closer together. You're going to have to let your breathing alone. Don't try and breathe because you're pressing air out on one side of your lung as you move. Both directions. You should be coming forward. Now, obviously, some of you are going to start to visualize. I want you to stay away from that for now. Just work on your performance goal being the process of the movement. Don't start thinking of where you could be throwing blows. Feel the movement so that it integrates with your breathing and your alignment. If it's integrating with your alignment, that means that the rest of your body is going to naturally start to recruit. Both directions. Now, I've mentioned this before, the 6 degrees of freedom. Your body has 3 dimensions, right, left, top, bottom, front, back. We're going to go through these 6 degrees of freedom with bent arm, starting singularly, right and left. Now, when we move on to footwork, this is naturally going to be obvious, but for now, what I want you to think of is when you come down, you're exhaling and you're rooting into the ground through each of these. Both directions. This is the first figure 8. Right, left. Opposite arm. When you're working through these, try and keep the opposite arm at home, somewhere closer to your head, both directions. Remember, integrate. Bring your movement into your alignment. As you compress, you exhale. As you expand, you inhale. That's the first figure 8. You combine those together. When you're adding both arms, don't forget about the shoulder recruitment and your neck. First figure 8. Both directions. Now, when we go front back, I want you to keep your arm, let me give you this direction. Keep your arm bent so that it's more of your shoulder pulling your elbow through the motion. Both directions, when you come forward this way, you're going to scoop out the other direction. Switch to your other arm, pulling through. Keep your opposite arm at home. Switch the other direction. Keep your arm bent. Don't let it fly out too much. Remember, compression, exhalation, compression, exhalation. When you add both arms together, in the first figure 8, think of shoveling. As this arm comes upward, the other arm scooping underneath. Once again, remember, rooting, exhalation. Now, going the other direction, think of yourself as pulling heavy weights that are lead in your fist, like kettlebells. Compression, exhalation, expansion, inhalation. Root down and weight transfer as you move towards the ground. Second figure 8. Third figure 8, top, bottom. Lead with the shoulder, then the elbow, then the wrist. As you careen through, remember, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation. Circle in the top, circle in the bottom. Let the rest of your body recruit. Opposite direction. And then switch arms. Lead with the shoulder, so the shoulder is pulling your elbow through the motion. Opposite direction. Now, adding both arms together is going to make you feel a bit awkward at first. Think of yourself as moving in two opposite directions, upward and downward. Compression, exhalation, expansion, inhalation. It's going to be complex, so you're going to have to let your body be breathed by the exercise. Switch directions. Let the air be pressed out as you move right, left, as your arms go top and down. Top, bottom, up, down.